LEGO finally listened to their fans with this one set. This is the epic battle Hulkbuster versus the Hulk. Coming with 413 pieces and 2 amazing minifigures, this set is part of the Epic Moment Collection, a brand new wave of LEGO Marvel sets. And it might honestly give us one of the best Hulkbusters LEGO has ever made, finally being size accurate. But is that really true? The back of the box shows us some nice renders of the set, featuring a look at Tony Stark inside the Hulkbuster, as well as the dimensions of the set. For comparison, here are the 2 epic battle sets that are available at this time. Of course, one being $25 and the other being $50. Of course, here is a look at both of the backs. Upon opening up the box, you are faced with 4 numbered bags, a sticker sheet, a large Hulk torso, as well as 2 instruction booklets, which is something new that LEGO has actually started doing, which actually makes it so you can build it with multiple people. Of course, this one going over the torso and whole Hulkbuster, and this one going over just the base. Anyways, let's get on straight into the set. And here it is in all of its glory. And it actually is pretty tall here, of course, as there are a bunch of elements holding it up, as of course the battle is suspended in the air. Now, it isn't super sturdy. As you can see, there is a bit of wobbling from the Hulkbuster. Mind you, that is probably because it is just held in place here by this little pole. As you can see right here, the Hulkbuster does sit on top of this little lamppost here on these little round tiles there. Of course, it is held up by this little Technic pin right here, which does just connect into that nice little hole right there pretty easily, which I think does make it look quite nice. Now, removing all the major pieces from the set itself, this is the base plate we are given, of course, built similar to the Venom versus Spider-Man Sandman set here, just extended a little bit by this little 2x3 sloped black piece right there, built into, of course, the base. Of course, we do get the very nice Avengers Age of Ultron branding logo right there on the front, with, of course, the battle is from the Hulkbuster versus the Hulk. And throughout the build is just a bunch of city kind of trash terror that has gone down. We do get this nice little traffic light right here, which can be used by the Hulk and thrown around, of course, as it does have this long yellow pole attached to it, of course, to fit in his hand there, which does slide nicely right on there. Above it, of course, is another traffic light right here with, of course, your standard green, yellow, and red letters. Of course, this one is a little bent to the side here, as you can see, using a bunch of these Technic pins. It is slotted in the same way as that lamppost there. Of course, this actually whole thing is a build here. Of course, being attached to it is a little fire hydrant, of course, sticking out right there, as well as a massive sign here, of course, with a little light up here, as well as a little sign heading, of course, to the bridge or to the airport, which I presume is the same one that is from the Civil War diorama. The fire hydrant is given the illusion that it is exploding due to this blue translucent fire piece here, which I think looks great, as well as we are given another sign right here, this one being in silver and having a do not enter sign, which is quite nice. However, by far the best part of the build here is, of course, our brand new Hulkbuster, looking like our most accurate one at that. This build, it was so fun to put together, and also just accomplishes all these amazing angles and tiles it off really greatly, which just makes it so cool. It is built similar to the newer mechs these days, with the Ninjago mech leg pieces here, of course, being at that stiff angle right there, which you cannot move. However, there is articulation in the legs there, the hips, the feet, the arms there, as well as the hands can rotate, but they cannot move. They are fixed in here by these little Technic pins. However, that does play an important part in the build later on. I do very much like the arm build here. Of course, it is stuck on that 90-degree angle. However, I think they accomplish the big fists of the Hulkbuster really, really great here, especially with the gauntlets here that are built with these little Star Wars shield pieces with some gold printing. Of course, there are some stickers along the build really entirely. There's some on the legs here, as well as the arms, the chest. This helmet piece, though, is printed, which is very, very nice. And of course, with those same gauntlet pieces, they are used up here for the shoulders to accomplish a nice angle like so. We do get the arc reactor right in the chest there, as well as spinning it around. It is nicely tiled off and rounded off at the back here too, with these little 2x2 slopes here, as well as this nice pearlescent gold Nexonite shield piece here that just adds more depth to the build. Opening up the suit, these two flabs do come down here, as well as the top does open up, where you can sit a minifigure inside. Of course, what is nice is they use these little clip pieces here, as well as these ones right here, which line up perfectly and give it that desired angle with that resting place right there, and up here to make it fit seemingly, which is just, again, so cool. And now with these arms being able to break off like I just showed you here, with this being able to come off, you are going to take this pin out from this hand here. Of course, as in the scene, Hulk absolutely decimates one of the Hulkbuster arms. And so what you're going to take is this extra little attachment right here, which you do build and can actually attach to the build to seem like it is flying in. This, of course, is Veronica, the extra arm. And you're going to simply detach it from the clear pull right here, stick the Technic pin on there, and then simply slide it on into place, giving the Hulkbuster the new arm right there, which looks really cool. This arm is then the one that absolutely decimates the Hulk. Before I do get to mention, the feet do have these nice repulsor blast pieces right there on the bottom, which, however, when you do remove them, they do add a slight slant to the minifigure's leg, really, as they're not really meant to be taking off. While it isn't super noticeable, it definitely is a little bit annoying for a display purpose, as really it leaves you with only the option of leaving this on the foot, which inherently isn't horrible, but isn't really desired. But of course, slotting everything onto the build here, just like so, you can really angle the Hulkbuster in any way, which I think is super great. And I think this is definitely one of the best Hulkbusters we have ever gotten. Taking a look at the minifigs, the only minifig really included in the set is our brand new Iron Man Mark 43 outfit, and I think he looks amazing. Now, while he is oversaturated, as we have gotten many of him before, especially in the past 2 years or so, this is a brand new version coming with arm printing, which looks fantastic on this minifigure. The helmet and the torso are the same, as well as the legs. However, when upon lifting up the helmet here, we get a brand new Tony Stark face, which looks amazing here, coming with a nice smirk on the front there, as well as the Edith glasses on the back, which not very accurate to the film, but to be fair, it does still look very nice for the figure. And of course, like I said, simply sitting the minifigure down here, folding up the flaps, and putting him on in there is the way to do it. And of course, the final figure in the set is the big figure. This, of course, is our brand new Hulk. Now, similar to the Avengers Age of Ultron display set, this one does come with the same body there with the same arms. However, the face is brand new, coming with this really angry expression, of course, as he is being influenced by the Scarlet Witch. And I think it looks really great here, of course, using that dark red around the eyes there. The hairpiece is the same one we have been getting, but man, what they have been doing with these big figs is just so great. Of course, there is nothing on the back. You do have the 4 studs, but yeah, just a amazing minifigure. And the set shows you connecting his foot right here to this little lamp piece like so he can fight Iron Man, if I can do this without it breaking here. There we go, just like that. But there you guys have it. That is my review on the epic battle Hulkbuster versus the Hulk. Honestly, these epic battle sets are just so fun to collect, especially from a minifigure standpoint. And if they keep doing these iconic scenes, I see no reason why this sub-theme would fail. If you guys did go on to enjoy the video, please make sure to subscribe and like the video. It shows me what you guys like to see, as well as it pushes me up to more people who may also enjoy this type of content. Anyways, guys, there's a Bible verse up on the screen to send you guys off into the week with. But anyways, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.